Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So the Biden administration has just urged Ukraine to lower its draft age from 25 to 18, which is just absolutely insane. We are in a transition to a new president. We have about 2 months left before Trump becomes president. He has made his stance perfectly clear about how he wants the war to go, which is to end as soon as possible. And yet the Biden administration want to ramp things up, and they're trying to encourage Ukraine to ramp things up. They say there's about 1 million people in the Ukrainian army right now. They say they're about 160,000 short, and that they can't keep pace with Russia and how many people Russia has. So the solution is to lower the age again. It was lowered this past April from 27 to 25, and now they want to lower it from 25 all the way down to 18 because they're losing so many people. This is ridiculous. In the final stages, right, the clock's running out on this war, and they want to just sacrifice as many people as possible, basically. Zelensky's over here like... So another criticism people have of this is a lot of people in Ukraine are worried that this will make the economy even worse. It's already kind of crumbling around them, but you take away all these men, 18 to 25, and draft them away, the economy is going to get worse. And then also, if a lot of them die, you're sacrificing another whole generation of men. Your country's, what are you fighting for? At the end of the day, if you don't have any people to inhabit your country because there's no men to exist in it, work in it, or have kids, your country's going to die out anyways. So why are we ramping it up? Why are we... And it's America's fault. It's been America's fault the whole time. We're encouraging them. They're like, oh, we totally got your back. You should totally do this. You should totally start drafting 18-year-olds. That's an amazing idea, even though the president-elect has said that he wants to end the war on day one. In the meantime, you should try to sacrifice as many people as humanly possible. Russia wants to negotiate. What you should be doing now when both sides say, like, hey, we're going to negotiate. Not necessarily Ukraine, but the fact that Trump at any moment can turn off the tap. So whether they like it or not, they got to do what the U.S. says. So the U.S. says we're going to negotiate under Trump in about 2 months. Russia wants to negotiate. Putin's open to it. He wants to negotiate with Trump. And so what are you doing? In the meantime, you should say, okay, this is a time that we can step back a little bit. We can look at our supplies, look at our manpower, let some people rest, send it into a Cold War for 2 months. If the negotiations break down, they break down. So be it. But in the interim, trying to escalate tensions, trying to use new weaponry, which is only going to lead to more devastating consequences for both sides, and encourage closer and closer to using nuclear weapons. So why are we doing this? Why are we encouraging them to do this? It's just a total disaster, and it's not beneficial to the people of Ukraine. This whole thing started because Zelensky wanted a plaque that says NATO on his desk. That's it. They wanted to be part of NATO. Russia said, no way. And then we have this situation. And Trump says he's not going to put them in NATO, so why are you still fighting? That's what you were fighting for. And the land is part of it, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you have no people to live on that land, what's the point of holding the dirt? What's the point? What are you fighting for? And when you have to drag people off the street to force them to fight, maybe you're the bad guy. Maybe what you're fighting for is not worth that much. Maybe people don't care about it that much. It's just wrong. It's wrong for us to encourage the senseless killing of all these people. Because to me, I'm not saying for the whole war, but for these last 2 months of Biden's presidency, all of this is to me essentially pointless because Trump says he's going to end the war. So why are you ramping things up? Why are you wanting them to draft 18-year-olds who have no training whatsoever? And then you're just going to send them out to the front lines as soon as possible, give them a month of training, and then they're good to go? What's the point of that? And to me, there is none. I'm not seeing the vision here. I don't get it, right? I don't understand how this is a good idea. If your opponent is willing to negotiate, what you do is you put everything on hold and you go and negotiate. If it breaks down, it breaks down. But to not want to negotiate until you're forced into doing it, I don't see how that makes you a good leader. I don't think Zelensky is a good leader for the country of Ukraine. I think under his rule, it's been disastrous. I think this has led to nothing but tragedy. I think in the end, nothing good is going to come from this. I think the push to go into NATO at the cost of however many lives are necessary was not a smart decision. And I think doubling down on it and us encouraging them to do it because we want, Russia to suffer equal casualties to the Ukrainians, if they're even suffering equal casualties. We still don't really know the numbers completely, but it looks like clearly from the fact that they need to draft more people that Russia's winning as of right now. So to me, this is just something the Biden administration is doing Hail Mary at the last second. And I think it's something that should not be done. If you know you're leaving office, if you know that there's going to be a transition, if the president has already made it clear where he stands, if the other country involved wants to negotiate and calls for peace, then why are we ramping up escalations? Why are we doing that? It's just another example of bad American foreign policy that does not care about the lives of the people who are sacrificing themselves for it or being forced to sacrifice for it, right? Like I said, dragging people off the street, you're kind of forcing them to do it. So this is not going to end well for Ukraine. I think it's clear they're going to lose. They're going to lose a majority of what they want from the negotiations. Trump has already said he wants them to cool it. And so hopefully they don't listen to Biden because he's going to be gone. Don't listen to him. He's going to be gone very, very soon. If this is even Biden making this decision, right? The Biden administration, as they say. But these people are all going to be fired. They were already fired. They're just packing up their stuff. They'll be gone in 2 months. So what Zelensky and Putin should do is they should meet with Trump and start formulating a plan. I know they've already kind of talked to him and they're trying to figure things out. But in the interim, you just let things lie. Let it be where it is. What they want to do in the final stages, they want to do a big coup de grace, push into the land Russia has, and try to take as much as possible before the negotiations. But I don't think Trump's going to fall for that gimmick and say, end of the game, whoever has the most land wins, right? Like wherever you guys are is what you're going to get. I don't think that's how the negotiations are going to go. I don't think just because you are currently in possession of something that you're going to keep it, either side necessarily. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't think anybody knows. I guess Trump probably has a good idea, but clearly if things are going to change in the next couple of weeks, that's going to have to be reevaluated. But to me, I want to see the end of this war. I think this has gone on way too long. I think it has been almost wholly unnecessary. I think if Ukraine didn't go into NATO, if we really focused on stopping Russia, I think we could have de-escalated this very quickly. And yeah, is there always going to be problems in that region? Yes. Is this a fair situation for Ukraine? No. But when you think about what you're fighting for, if you're fighting for to have NATO in your title, to be able to have your little seat at the table, if you're fighting for a piece of dirt, how many lives are worth that? How many generations are worth that? You destroy your economy and massacre several generations of men. Your country's going to evaporate anyways, right? Russia could, in a couple decades, soft take over the country if there's nobody there to stop them. So all around, this just needs to stop. I think Trump is going to make it stop. It seems they want it to stop overall. And so we should stop. The U.S. government should stop encouraging them to want to escalate things into a situation that Trump won't be able to reel back in or contain. I think that's part of the plan. I think it's sick. I think this is something that comes from both the Democrats currently in the administration and several Republicans who've said, we should focus on kneecapping Russia as much as possible vicariously through Ukraine. So our 18-year-old boys don't have to die. We should send Ukrainian 18-year-old boys to die because that's so much better, right? That's such, so great that we're going to do that. It's like, that's sick. That's wrong. You should not be sacrificing people. You should not look at them as numbers on a board. But that's what we do. We dehumanize. We all for what we quote as our interests around the world, which are not the interests of the American people, not the interests of the Ukrainian people, not the interests of the Russian people. It's the interests of the powers that be in each of these countries that has led to such a disastrous situation. And conflicts like these will keep arising as long as we maintain our current foreign policy positions, both on the left and the right. Something needs to change. So that's my thoughts on this. I think hopefully we'll see de-escalation versus escalation. The Biden administration keeps trying to do these moves at the last minute, like when they supplied Ukraine with missiles that were clearly intended to escalate the conflict. I hope that in the coming months they relax a little bit. Putin doesn't get, falls into their trap of trying to get him to escalate it, and then maybe we can, resolve this as peacefully as possible, as quick as possible, with the most amount of human lives left intact. So that's my thoughts on this. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.